views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Oh boy. Hey everybody. Happy day to all of you. It's so great to have all of you tuning us in and turning us on. But here's the deal. Today, we're going to talk about the missing element. That is inspiring compassion for the human condition with author and astrologer Deborah Silverman. Because I don't think if you're like me right now, you're thinking, what is my human condition? How plugged in am I to everything going on in the world? Can I even make sense of it? How is it affecting my life? And are there different parts of who I am that's going to help me move forward in the way I want to move forward? But today, why not bring in the best of the best to talk with all of us? And I just want to say this now. This is a live call-in show. And what that means is I'm going to give you the number, 1-800-930-2819. That's the call-in number. You're going to get to chat with Benny right out of the gate because astrology is what's happening today. But more importantly is what is it that's going on in our lives? What do we want to change? How do we want to change it? Who do we want to change it with? And most importantly, if you're like me, you want to change it yesterday. 1-800-930-2819 or go to Transformation Talk Radio, and we're going to tell you in a minute what information for you to type in. But Deborah has been somebody, oh my God, that has been working with people all over the world, was introduced to astrology, and life was never the same again. Deeply studied the mind, the body, all of the above, bachelor's degree in psychology. But what is it about these years that she has been working, 37 plus, private practice, helping thousands of people emotionally get fine-tuned based on wisdom and her unique approach to things. But today it's about astrology and then some. Does one size fit all? I don't think so. Deborah, it's great to have you here. Welcome to the show.
I love that question, does one size fit all? No. It's a full moon.
Yeah.
You couldn't have called me at a better time.
Tell us about what the full moon means. And, people say, oh, but wait a minute. It's a full moon in blank. And none of us know what that means.
That's why I'm here.
What is the full moon in, though, right now?
Okay, so here's the shortcut. I'm going to teach you something that's so simple. So because we're coming towards your birth date, that the sun's in Sagittarius today. So whenever there's a full moon, it's always in the exact opposite sign of the sun. So if the sun's in Sag, if you looked exactly 180 opposite, it will be Gemini, and so the moon's in Gemini. So whenever you see a full moon, you just look the opposite direction. Like today, if you look at the sun, wherever you're sitting right now, 180 degrees opposite is where the moon is big and fat and full in the nighttime on the other side of the planet. It's kind of abstract, but the point is the sun and the moon have to be opposite. And this is a particularly significant one because it's a super moon, And if you notice, did you see it last night?
Yeah, but why is it a supermoon? Because people are like, I turn into a werewolf when there is a full moon.
You do not.
I feel like I do. I got to just tell you that, though. I really do.
I know.
I mean, I don't
sleep.
grow any hair on my chest anymore, but some days I thought I had.
Okay, so first let's do the full moon. Remember, it's opposite the sun, and so the sun today is in Sag and the moon's in Gemini, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. And then the super moon happens once a year, where it's the brightest. It's 7% brighter than any other time of the year, and it is the biggest, brightest moon. When you looked at it, if anyone looked outside last night, it looked like it was so much bigger than a normal life. And that's just the refraction and the reflection. It just determined by the position of the Earth. But it is so bright, and it's a super moon, and its fullness, its brightness, and you could really see the quality of. It looked like it was in Disney or something, like somebody plugged it in. So let's talk about the sun and Sag and the moon in Gemini. It's so interesting because even today what happened on the news with the truth being coming out about this whole political situation. Sag, as you know, are the truth tellers. Their function this lifetime is to not sit idle when there's fake or when there's lies in the room or when there's undercurrents. Like they always, they always speak to the pink elephant. The Sag is the one that goes, oh my God, how can we not talk about this? And then opposite is the Gemini flavor, and that's the one that has this like slippery mouth where they just say things. They love wit, and they're funny, and they're very lighthearted. So you put the truth teller, Sag, with Moon, the communicator, and we have an excessive desire, if a baby were born today, to be the verbal, articulate voice that has the need to speak to the unspeakable, just like what happened in the news. Like the truth is coming out during this full moon.
Yeah.
And the gift of Gemini moon is humor, which is my sign. So you and I are kind of a full moon right here. Your sun's in Sag, and I'm a Gemini. The humor of a Gemini is they just make fun of everything. Like, life is not that serious, right? Why are we all getting so caught up? And then Sag goes, that's right. Anytime Sag has a chance to laugh or have a party or eat or indulge. So the flavor of this last Sunday and today is lighten up, tell the truth, appreciate when things get uncomfortable, because Sag tends to be sloppy and messy. They bump into things. You probably do that. Don't you have a really blunt side?
I do have a blunt side, and, I've been working on it.
But it's okay. See, I always hear this from Sagittarians. They always say, I get in trouble. And yes, you get in trouble. You're the kid in the classroom that jumped up early before recess was ready and tapped your foot under the desk and didn't want to do schoolwork. Did you have that problem?
Oh my gosh, are you kidding? If I had a quarter for every time I've been yanked by the ear out of a classroom, I'm telling you, I would have been fit for life at age 21. But
but look what you're doing now. You're our voice.
Yeah, wow, I didn't put that together. So bottom line is you can't really shut me up.
So welcome to welcome to Sagittarius. So the trick is right now, all of you that are sitting out there, and it's so interesting because Jupiter, for the first time in 12 years, just went into Scorpio about a month ago, and Jupiter is the planet of luck and expansion. It's 300 times the size of Earth. It's so hard to, I try to think of it, but I can't. And it's entered Scorpio, which means that sexuality and honesty Jupiter's all about honesty and loud and blunt, and it entered Scorpio. So in the last month since Jupiter entered Scorpio, out came this outrage of how many, I call it the avalanche, of all the men who have violated women. So not only is there Sag, the truth teller here, but there's also this Jupiter influence right now that for the next year that's going to encourage sexual honesty and people coming out with the truth. And so even in politics, we're just going to see an incredible opportunity for us to stop lying.
Yeah.
That's really
But, have you ever seen, so now here's my Sag talking to you, Deborah, and, let's talk about this from your history, from, your giant yes. And what I mean by a giant yes, I'm talking about the thing that you said yes to passionately that has become your life's work. What is it about your work, about this idea to understand the uniqueness in everyone that so gets you up every day? because I'm really clear that you're super passionate about this. I'm absolutely out of my mind about people lying and it being okay in our country. So I'm having like panic attacks over how is this even happening? My Capricorn keeps me aligned. But how about you? Every day you get to look at a changing sign. What's that like for you?
It's so much. You're such a Sag. I can feel your enthusiasm. I can't even tell you. Honestly, my spiritual practice every day and it's been 40 years, but not every day for 40 years, certainly every day for about the last 30. I do a reading as my spiritual practice. So someone calls me on the phone just like this, and they show me their chart, and I get to give them the permission slip of what their promise was, what they came here for. Now I've certified astrologers on my website. There's all these astrologers I've trained rigorously. Like I've really put them through a training program that they too you can call them, and they will call and say to you, here's why you're here. So the answer to your question is, it is, I don't know, it seems so obvious to me. The most important thing in the whole world is to be yourself. Like, why would you come to this planet? What would be the reason to exist if it's not to contribute, to express your uniqueness, and to love? I mean, I can't think of it. I don't know. So the contribution first is my first single issue. It's because I'm so passionate about giving. How can I help? Like, so you look at your chart, like I'm looking at your chart right now. You have no off button. You can't help yourself. You're like me. We have a similar trait this way. You made a promise this lifetime that you would come in and really do your best in a very charming way to be ruthlessly honest. Like, luckily you got charm in here, because otherwise you get in trouble.
Well, there's part of this that, I've learned over time, and this is something we're going to talk about too today, is I've learned over time, one, there is a way to say something to somebody and then a way to say something to somebody. Some days I'm more mindful of it. But honestly, listen, if somebody's got a piece of spinach in their teeth, I am not going to let them walk around with that piece of spinach. Can you understand? I don't even understand how people do that.
I made a promise to tell the truth.
So, here's the question. In all the years you've been doing this, has astrology changed?
There's this new comment that came out on the news about, I think it was like a year ago, where people's signs changed, and they were like, you're not really a Sag, you're a Scorpio. You're one sign behind. Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah, I did. I don't even know what to make of that.
It's so funny. And you know who called me? Ryan Seacrest. I didn't even know who he was. It was embarrassing. So I'm one morning I'm working, and I get this urgent phone call that there's a radio host that wants to interview me about this announcement that the planets are in the wrong signs. And so I take the call. It's him. I had no idea. He goes, am I really not a Capricorn? He was all worried. I was like, Ryan, calm down. And then hung up, and then I had my team meeting with my company, and they were like, who called you? Like, how come I didn't know his name? Anyway, the point of that story is there was this big announcement that went out. And the point is that astrology is ancient. It's the oldest science on Earth. It has sustained its worth and its weight in gold because it's so applicable, as you are describing yourself as a Sag so clearly right now. Yes. Does it change? Well, it's interesting you ask, because this month, Dr. Pat, you're about to go through a big change. Your chart is just now at a significant marker. So I'm just going to use your chart because it's just so auspicious that you're calling me today. We're together.
Okay. I'm in. I'm all in.
For the last 2.5 years, your progressed moon was in Gemini, and that means that you've been really about learning and studying and communicating, and your attention span hasn't been that long on anything. You've kind of felt a little bit like you're interested in things and you're moving a little too fast, but it's been entertaining. Next month, it's going to move into Cancer for the next 2.5 years. You're probably just feeling it this moment. It's going to make you want to come in, be inside yourself more, less social, much better at follow through, much better with money. Like, you've just been a little bit fast and speedy and lighthearted. Have you felt that?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So it's shifting.
There's no question about it.
The shift, and you're going to really notice this new year. You're going to say, Deborah called that tap. You have two major things happening in December of 2017 as we speak, besides your birthday. But one of them is the progressed moon entering Cancer, making you want to be more at home, more with your family, and much better at follow-through. Like whatever you started 2.5 years ago that you've been flirting with, whether it's writing, and you're going to have much more...
I could tell you exactly what it is.
Okay, tell me.
2.5 years ago, almost to the point, to the day, 2.5 years ago, I had a vision, and influenced, of course, by Miss Jessica and Linda. But the vision that we had was, how can we create something that we have to call radio, but is really much more than radio? How can we create a positive forum, which is called now transformationradio.fm, but to create something that has this momentum? And then how can we deliver it to people all over the world in a way that hasn't been developed yet? So for 2.5 years, we've been developing technology, which will be finished early next year, that if you flipped a switch, let's say tomorrow even, we can do this now, I could implement an entire channel, a whole network just for you within 12 hours, and it will automatically syndicate to 30 other media outlets within a month, 90 other media outlets, fully integrated into Facebook, all social media, images that will post in the middle of a show, Facebook Live interface with graphics, and a positive media mojo community that we're building with an interface of good deeds, that good deeds will be recorded. We will pay them forward. They will multiply. 2.5 years ago, we had the vision. We are almost done with the technology to launch that.
Wow. This is super cool. Well, yeah, your timing couldn't be better. And this next 6 months is when it will launch.
Yeah.
About 2 or 3 months. Yeah, it's right here.
Wow. So what can I ask? What are you seeing that would show that? Because you're so wise about this. I mean, you have so much knowledge and experience. And before we get too far along, I just want to remind everyone, the missing element today, we're talking about this, inspiring compassion for the human condition. Author, astrologer, Deborah Silverman joining me here today. I want to make sure, first of all, how can people find out more about you? How can they find out where your books are available? And how could they contact you for their own astrological session?
So good, Dr.
All of
Pat.
the above.
I swear, I feel like I met you. Did we ever do this before? Am I having a deja vu?
No, but I don't think so. I don't think
why do we
have.
know each other? Or do you know me? Did you know me before this happened?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm just making stuff up. Okay, here we go. Because I think I was on the same radio station or something. So first of all,
sometimes people tell me that.
My book is called The Missing Element. You can go on Amazon, and there's a personality test in the middle of the book where you figure out what your missing element is, and then there's directions. Like in your case, you really have a balanced chart, Dr. Pat. You're not really missing an element. I would say you're quite balanced based on this. Yeah. But for some people, when you take the personality test, you're going to go, whoa, this is so accurate. And then it helps balance out. The way I describe it is there's 4 wheels in a car, and if one of the wheels goes down, the whole thing goes off. So similar to missing an element. There's 4 elements, water, air, earth, and fire. If one of them is not working, it goes off. And if the callers call in today, that will be easy for me to show them. Then the second thing is my website is Deborah, D-E-B-R-A, Deborah Silverman Astrology. And I do teach. It's so funny because in February we start twice a year. I do a launch where people can come and study with me, and they can be an astrologer when they grow up, or they can just take one class, a 6-week class, to learn about their own chart. You always study your own chart. That's how I teach. The chart comes on a screen. There's 10 people. We do a very small group, intimate group, with one mentor who's been trained by me to study your chart. And at the end of the 6 weeks, you're like, I hate to say this, but I feel like a drug dealer because you're addicted. You're like, oh my God, and now I know why my kid doesn't talk, or oh my God, now I know why Dr. Pat doesn't stop. Like it becomes so clear, and you have great compassion because you understand the character. So one option is to get the book, The Missing Element, on Amazon. I'm sure they had it at all the bookstores, but you have to call the bookstores. And then the other one is you just go to my website under Learn, and you'll see about the class that's starting in February. The door opens, the launch door opens in January 24th, but we are only twice a year teaching, and yes. And right now, you know what? I forgot about this. Right now you can do what's called, is that true, Carrie? You can do interview. You can get it for half price. If you go to my website, you'll see it's called Interview, INNER. We're offering that level 1 class for $500.
That's awesome.
It's a self-study course if you want to do it by yourself. And people really, it's amazing. So that only happens twice a year as well. So we happen to be in that week. But your other question is, how did I know that about you? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, because I think that you're such an expert in what you do. I mean, when you said 2.5 years ago, I'm like, okay, how does she know that? I mean, is she talking to Linda?
I mean, honestly, astrology, the unfortunate part is, you said I had a bachelor's. I actually have a master's in clinical psychology. So I had proper training in a classical trained way. And then I went over to astrology and included this ancient science. So I came to it as a skeptic. I wasn't, it makes no sense. Why does astrology work? It just, the whole thing is so ridiculous. Planets influence us. Like, people seem to think it's such an obvious thing. I'm always like, no, the moon is full and there's more instances of accidents, and Mercury's gone retrograde yesterday, and there's more examples of things. Like, does that really work? And now after 40 years, I'm like, we're not arguing with logic. I don't understand it, but I can promise you it works. And
can I ask you a question about this, though, too? Listen, I've watched you, I've listened to you, I've read I know I've read your books, but when I say to people, I don't have the same thing that goes on with Mercury in retrograde. Actually, it's one of the best times for me.
Yeah. No,
am I like losing my mind?
Capricorn, you'd love it. Because you're so practical. You love when things work slowly and methodically. Your whole chart is based on a personality type that wants efficiency and follow through. Like, that's what you live for. So Mercury going retrograde, everything slows down, and people start getting organized. Like, they have to slow down, and that's your favorite thing.
Yes.
You're opposite, but you're a little weird. You're so practical. Oh my God, this chart is like, you got enough Capricorn for a few people.
That's what I said. But I drive everybody crazy because I'll come into work like 2.5 years ago. I'll come in and say, I have a vision. This is what I want to do. And I have these great conceptual 35,000 feet above ideas. But then I'll say, and can we get it done by next week? So is that the Capricorn?
Yes. Your Sag is a visionary, and your Capricorn's a follow through. You've got a very wonderful, that's a wonderful combination. The hardest part for you is just, you have to learn your emotional body. The hardest part is knowing when to stop. Like,
I don't know that.
No, that's not.
I don't know that part yet. I don't know that part yet. I know. But what's really interesting, and I want to talk with you about this, this personality test, because I run into problems when I go out in public. And that's what we're kind of talking about today as well. We are entering into a time and a day and age where folks are having a hard time making sense. And inconsistency, I think, Deborah, is really what's causing people to really either bail out and say, I'm not paying attention, or go in the complete opposite direction. But I am such an introvert that I took one of these personality tests years ago, and I scored so very far in the introvert thing on the test that they made me take the test like 4 times. And I scored one of the lowest or one of the highest introvert scores in the history of Myers-Briggs. And they thought I had, faked it or whatever. But that's who I am. I mean, I love doing this. I love doing that. But once I'm done with this, just let me sit in a room and
watch. It's right here in your chart. It's 100% in your chart.
Is that what it says?
Yeah. You have 3 planets in the 8th house of the of wanting your own reflection. Like, that's where you get all this. Where your visions come is when everyone leaves you alone. Then you come out of the room and then you're implementing. You're a visionary and an implementer.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Let's take a short break. When we come back, as I said before, we're taking your calls live, 1-800-930-2819. Do you want to know what role, where you're going? What do these times mean? Does karma have anything to do with it? And is it okay to turn that news channel off? Oh, boy. I don't know about that one. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Now you can be a part of one of the most powerful programs to help create a more joyful, loving, abundant, and peaceful world. Every day at 12 noon in any time zone, join millions of other people around the world to spend a few minutes in joy, love, and gratitude. Brought to you by Robert Schoenfeld, host of the Art of Powerful Living Radio. Together, we can raise the vibration of the planet. For more information, visit globalmomentofjoy.com.
Conscious Confidence Radio, a timeless wisdom with Sarah Main. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio and join Sarah on an adventurous journey to the deeper level of meaning to move beyond today's world of constant change, confusion, and uncertainty beyond the shadow of fear. This hit show explores key concepts such as confidence, values, and attitude in a dynamic way. To learn more about Sarah and her work, visit sarahmain.com.
Did you know that all of the shows on the Transformation Radio Network are available as podcasts to stream or download?
Really?
Check us out. Go to transformationradio.fm. We have business shows, spiritual shows, energy healing shows, and pretty much everything in between. Something for everyone, guaranteed to inspire, educate, and transform. We are transforming the world, one listener at a time.
Calling all moms, it's time to awaken your vibrant, intuitive, loving self in every area of your life. Join host Debbie Pokornik as she shares thoughts, stories, and tools to help you stand in your power. Listen to Vibrant, Powerful Moms helping everyday women create extraordinary lives. Mondays at 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern. For more information about Debbie, visit empoweringenergy.com. That's empowering with letters NRG.com.
In this day and age, if you don't reinvent yourself, you may never find balance, peace, and the sustainable life that is your birthright. Angela Watson Robertson, known as the Reinvention Warrior and the host of breakthrough radio show Masters of Reinvention, is here to help you reinvent every area of your life. Tune in and hear from the best in the personal transformation business and discover tips and tools for positive change. Live every month on Transformation Talk Radio.
Are you searching? Looking for a sign? A message you need to hear? From the great unknown? From the most mysterious place that is the most familiar to your soul in the depths of who you are? The universe put someone here to talk to, someone God gave a blessing to, that you may find insight with. TheAngelLady.net. 1-800-323-1790.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Deborah Silverman joining me here today. Listen, are you going to be traveling, coming to Seattle? Tell
I just found it. I'm at the East West Bookstore.
Yeah.
Doing a workshop, actually, April 6th and 7th.
Nice. Wow. You got to come. You got to come here.
I play ping pong with you. I'm telling you, I am a wicked. That's not true. I just can play for long. I don't like to compete so much. It's just long rallies.
Yeah. It's interesting. When did you start playing?
When I was young. My dad was like a professional. Like he was like the real thing. I don't play like he did. So I just was around it. But it's just energy. I mean, if you have energy, which clearly you do, yeah, then it's if you know how to move energy. Ping pong is you can't think. It's a wonderful thing.
No thinking. You start thinking. I was playing with someone the other day, and all of a sudden, every point he missed, he had something to say about it. And I was like, dude, come on. I was like, all right, so like, it's okay. And, the energy, and I'm just trying to say, stop. Please stop. Every shot he was explaining it to me, like why he hit the ball that way. And I'm like, I don't even remember the shot.
So funny. That is such a symbol for life. You're in a flow.
I don't remember it. I mean,
you're not supposed to. That's the whole point. Anything, it's like making love, or it's like a really good ski going down the mountain. But when you lose your mind, you're finally home. Or as my Zen friend says, oh, now we're getting nowhere.
Well, listen.
That was funny.
It is funny. I mean, I'm really kind of kind. I'm not really like that. I'm never going to do that. I try to kindly, pulled him over to the side and I said, listen, here's what we got to do. I promise I won't say anything about what you're saying. Okay. It's going to be okay though. But in the meantime, let's go to the phones. Because I'm so curious about how you all are feeling with the big fat full moon.
But I just want to say, when I come in Seattle on April 6th and 7th, we have to make a plan, Stan. And if there's a way maybe to do a show before that, just because I'd love to have, for one, I'd love to play ping pong with you. And two, I'd love to, somehow be able to play with you, because clearly we've got this is a dancing party here.
Oh, it's so much fun. Oh my gosh. We have so many ping pong stories to tell, right? Benny has been here listening to me talk about ping pong for years. Oh my gosh. Mr. Benny.
I've heard enough of it. I act like a ping pong ball sometimes.
Yeah, you do.
Your stories go back and forth, so that's just the way it works.
We're doing ping pong right now.
I know, right?
We're playing ping pong.
Yep, there you go. We'll take Charlene calling in from Canada. Charlene, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello, ladies.
Hi, Charlene.
How are you?
I'm so excited.
I'm excited.
Do you want me to just take it away, Pat? Or let's
take it away, Pat.
How are you enjoying the show, Charlene?
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying the show. I really am. I always enjoy the show. I'm always tuned into you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm really interested in the missing element, and I do not have the book, but I am going to go and purchase it. And I'm really interested in astrology, too.
That's so cool, because you're open-minded. I forgot to tell you guys, if you want me to sign a book and send it to you with a chart in the book, if you go on my website, you can purchase it directly from me, and then I'll send you a signed version. So that's the option. You can either do it on Amazon and get it, or you can go right to Deborah Silverman Astrology, and you'll see, click here to buy the book, and then we'll mail it to you. But so, Charlene, with you, the reason why you're so open is you're in Aries, and you're double fire. You're similar. I can see why you like Dr. Pat. You've got a lot of fire in your chart. You get so excited, and your enthusiasm is contagious unless people are boring, and then you just can't stand it. You must be really hard on you when people aren't open-minded.
Actually, I've been having a lot of energy in my body lately, and I've had healers working on me, and it seems to be in my feet, and they were talking about different chakras and things like that. But I'm off work right now, and I'm working with myself spiritually, and I was just wondering, with this new
Well, you're in a major change, so I was just going to tell you that. You're in Saturn return. It happens once every 30 years, and you're in Saturn return as of this moment, starting about 2 weeks from now, and it means you've got to stop. You have to pause, and you have to go inside, and you have to review and look at your world and see the level of your agreements with you, because you have this really strong personality, to put it lightly, Charlene, and now is the time for reflection. So what I want to, and I don't have your birth time, do I?
I didn't get it from my mom.
Yeah,
and
so I can't really give you as I could with Dr. Pat the details, but I can promise you that the year of 2018 is going to be a game changer. It started right about a month or two ago. It's probably in your body, but it's forcing you to slow down and stop. Oh, and look at this. That's so funny. Next month, everything changes for you, Pat. So you have to, it would be a great time. And in fact, I have a class. I think you may have heard that starting in January, we have the school, the launch opens and the school starts in February. But for you to study about yourself, to do self-inquiry right now, whether it's therapy, whether it's self-reflection, whether it's studying astrology or the tarot or whatever tool you can use, you have to stop, though. I just want to tell you, and don't let your body, sometimes people get ill during Saturn return. We turn 58 to 60 or 28 to 30 because we need to get our attention back to ourselves, so we use illness. It's so unfortunate. But as an astrologer, I get to warn people and go, beep, 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 stop, pause, go in, reflect. Is that what's going on, Charlene?
This is really important information because I went through a bout of that myself.
Yeah, it is because I ended up going back to work, and then after my father passed, and then I ended up with vertigo, and it put me down. And
I know.
I had no choice.
The body does. It happens all the time because we don't listen. We don't know. Our society doesn't know how to slow down. When you come of age, we're allowed. So I want to encourage you to take this year and do not push.
Yeah.
You're such a pusher. You've got so much energy. My God.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're good to go, Charlene. And by the way, I would encourage you to take a look at spending some additional time with Deborah because, boy, I'll tell you, it sounds like this year is going to be a juicy one.
Yes,
thanks, Charlene. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Now, let's go to the phone. Let's keep it going, Benny.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Linda, is calling in from New Jersey. Hello, Linda.
Linda.
Hello. You just said something, Deborah, and I'd like to know what that means. Come of age. What age?
That's so cute. No one has their birth time. How come we don't have a birth time for you, Linda?
I think it was 12 o'clock, somewhere in lunchtime. Yeah.
Well, that's so unusual. Coming of age in astrology is all about timing, of course. Then you know how that favorite line, everything's timing. And so when there's a time of aging, it's usually 28 to 30. If you look back, you'll see you came of age, and then 58 to 60. So yours would have been in 2007 was your last big change. What happened, Linda, in that year?
Nothing happened in
2007, 2008. What was how many years ago? 10 years ago, nothing shifted?
Yeah, I guess it did shift.
What was it?
I started working for Pat, and I had lost my job, and my mother got sick.
So there you have it. So as soon as you start working for
sick.
Pat, that's called the destiny line, and it happened exactly as I described. If you could not have not had your destiny came into focus. So that's what I mean by coming of age. So destiny shows up, it knocked on your door, and you responded. You said yes. You lost one job, picked up another job, and it's become your destiny. Is that true?
Oh, boy.
That's very true. Yeah, my mother got sick she got sick in 2007. I lost my job in 2007, and near the end of 2007, and then I took care of my mother.
Yeah, it's just like the last caller, Charlene. So your body had to slow down. Your mom. It's always it's either death, illness, end of job. Life will come in no uncertain terms. You don't get a vote. It's like beep beep beep. My mom's sick. Okay, everybody stop. Beep beep beep. My kid's sick. It's one of those.
That's right. Yep, I got it. That's very true.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And your chart, this is Linda. So you, oh my goodness, I can see the two. So the two of you work together?
We've been friends since 1973.
Yeah, you just completely want to get stuff done, the two of you. I mean, this is called manifestation, the two of you. This is like a true partnership in functional, practical. The biggest thing is that you can judge when no one's looking other people because they don't live up to your standards. Be careful.
Never.
Linda.
I didn't say that. You said it, Dr. Pat. Just kidding. Yeah, so that's one of your lessons.
And I said never.
Oh, my God.
That's so funny. But the real gift here is a genuineness. You have a very, very strong purity from the food you eat to the way that you want things done. You just can't stand anything half done.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah.
That's fair, you know. We shouldn't be telling these things about
now,
me.
The drawers. I know. I feel bad. Like I shouldn't be in people's house looking in their back room. And like right when Dr. Pat was like, how did you know that? I was like, I was looking at I heard you last night when no one was looking. But it's all on the chart. The stars don't lie. And Linda is the girl you would hire if you wanted to get things done. She's got a great aesthetic. You've got taste buds.
Okay. Yeah. So ask Linda the question, how long it took her after arriving at my house to completely rearrange my cabinets in the kitchen and my closets.
Yeah, she organizes and she not only does she make a temple, but the purity of color and her aesthetic is so important. You got great taste, Linda.
All right.
Oh, God.
So what's
you're the only one that's saying that.
Like for Linda?
What'd you say, Pat? Deborah?
What's the upcoming year like?
Do you have expensive taste, Linda?
No.
I thought so.
I don't think
practical. You're not going to go overboard. Her upcoming year. The good news is you just went through this 2017 wasn't fun. Or 2016. 2016. Let me just see. You're Saturn 11 degrees. So you're at the end of especially right now, where discipline's been required of you, and you've really had to stay the course, and it just hasn't been fun. But it's shifting, and I would suggest to you, Linda, that meditation or any spiritual practice right now would really help. Do you do that?
No.
It would really help you, even if it's music on. Like, there's two musicians I tell everybody to listen to. One is Trevor Hall. I don't know if you guys know him. He is the most spiritual, beautiful music. And the other is, it's going to sound funny, Snatam Kaur. It sounds so funny. SNATUM. KAUR. Those two, for you right now, Linda, to put either Trevor Hall or Snatam Kaur on, you need to be soothed. You've got a high nervous system. You get nervous over nothing.
That's very true.
I know.
That is
very
true.
And you should not be drinking coffee. I hope you don't drink coffee.
She just started.
Oh, boy.
What do you mean
I can drink 12 cups of coffee a day.
Yeah, I know. Because you love being jacked. You know what, Pat, Linda, what would be really good for you is to go get your adrenals tested and then start finding, even if you want to drink coffee, there's nothing wrong with coffee, but you've heard this bulletproof thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's so valuable. Your nervous system's all jacked up, and it's been, the last 2 years has just not been the healthiest time.
That's very true. That's
there
very
you
true.
go.
Lot going on.
You don't have to age, Linda. One of your gifts is you could really stay young if you just take care of your body. You just get nervous. You're just just very different than Pat, because Pat can do this like, everybody leave me alone. Don't talk to me. I'm being quiet. And you're making your list when no one's looking, Linda.
That's true. But I have tried to listen to music and stuff. I can't sit still that long.
No. You don't have to listen to it. Just and it has to be the right music. Put it on in the backdrop. You need to be soothed. It can't be ordinary music. Your nervous system to be soothed, and repetitive music. Trevor Hall is a master, and so is Snatam Kaur. I always call her Snafu because her name is so funny. But those two musicians are very soothing. You need cuddles, Linda. You need to have like massages regularly.
There you go.
Oh, I hate.
There you go.
I know. But you know what it could be? Like something that you like. And she's so funny. I hate massages. You always have to have preferences. Linda is the preference girl. It has to be exactly the way she likes it, or she won't play.
Oh my God!
All right, you got that, Linda?
To hear this, yes,
I'm sorry,
got it.
Linda. And by the way, you're the partner. Dr. Pat loves you. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Good.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. All right. Well, I'm telling you, boy, you nailed that, Mr. Benny. Who do we have next? I think, Deborah, we have time for one more, if we could.
I have Kim written here.
That's who's next.
All right.
And then Aaron, if we have time. So Kim
All
first.
right, thank
Kim,
you,
welcome
Pete.
to the show.
Hi, Kim.
Look at Kim's chart. Kim, this is funny.
Kim, how are you?
I'm good.
All right.
How did we find you, Kim? Where are you calling from?
Seattle area.
Oh, you're in the Seattle area too. Do you play ping pong?
No.
You should, because you have the wiggle. You wiggle. My God. You must be doing things. Are you moving all the time? Oh, come on.
Kind of, sort of, but not to an extreme.
What do you do, Kim?
I work on the computer. I do graphics work.
And you're not in motion in your head. How about that? In your head, are you in motion all the time?
In my head, yeah, in my head.
Your body's not wiggling, but your head is not. How do you sleep?
Not as well as I used to.
Yeah,
I've got to kind of work at it.
It would be. I'm going to go back to the Trevor Hall thing. You have a very strong personality around people, and so you're constantly in response to what they need. And it becomes a fascination, like you're a little nosy, like you're the kid that would all the kids in the class, you knew everybody. Such a little social thing. Wasn't that true?
Yeah, I think it was.
I'm not sure now, but you have a pretty action relationship with, like you'll meet the person at the counter and you'll start talking to them.
Depends on my mood.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's so funny. She's got a moody chart, Scorpio rising. But when you're in the mood, you have this gift of the gab, and your gift is definitely the articulation and verbalizing all the ideas. It's just that, sometimes it gets exhausting how many ideas you have and how many thoughts. But the gift, thank God for your patience. One of your gifts is you wiggle, think, and then you're super calm mentally. Like you'll stay the course. You'll follow through. You'll make sure all the T's are crossed, and that's one of your gifts. But is that true?
Yeah, that kind of feels right.
Oh, my God, you're such a Gemini. Kind of, sort of. I'm a little confused. I kind of am good with people. I'm kind of really moving a lot. Well, maybe not.
Oh, that's
so
funny.
Gemini. Let me just finish by saying, like Pat, your big change, Pat's is a little earlier. Hers is in December. Yours is in 2 years. You go through a 7-year cycle. So what happened in 2012? 5 years ago.
5 years ago, 2012.
You were just about to turn 60. Remember your 60th birthday?
I do.
And what happened?
Had a big surprise party.
Because you know everybody.
Gosh, I can't remember anything.
Change jobs. You didn't change relationship. You didn't make any move.
No, that all happened prior.
The year before?
No, more like 2005.
No.
I made a big change.
Okay,
and then,
so this is very unusual. You're going to have to go check it out. This is what happens.
I will.
They always call back later. And this is classical Gemini. They're a little confused. Because they have so much air. You've got so much air in your chart, Kim. So when you reflect, you're going to remember, oh, God, that's so right. When I turned 60, 59, 60, I remember now I made this decision to blah, blah, blah. But that's okay. And the short answer is you are a very fast thinker. And your gift is your mind, and your curse is your mind because it keeps you up. It just makes it harder to sleep. So, and there's a million helping supplements now that they've come out with that I can't suggest because I sleep like a baby. But
I think I've got a slew of them to choose from.
I can only imagine. Because Geminis are researchers.
Oh my God.
Is that true of you, Kim?
It is true. I always research everything before I purchase.
Yeah. Well, you've got. The problem with you is your mind. So is this your other partner? Kim is the other person you work with?
Yes.
Did you know I'm from Detroit, Kim, and the same era, and I grew up in Detroit? Did you grow up in Detroit?
Oh, my gosh. I was there till I was about 10.
Are you like
what
the
area did you grow
Motown?
up in?
You're like the Motown twins.
What area did you grow up in?
It was outside of Detroit, like in Southfield, and then I moved to California.
Right down the road.
Wow.
Two kissing cousins, two little Gemini. I'm also a Gemini. Your big thing is just you are a moving target, Kim, and you've got this deep side to you that's contrasted, that's confusing. Because some part of you just loves to wiggle and move and think and all that, and then there's this part that's very deep and just wants to partner and be really calm. And it's hard because it's a constant. You've got like two different personalities: fast-moving, super research, deeply information-seeking, very curious, and then slow down, everybody.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Can you feel that split?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I enjoy long-term relationships.
Yeah, you're great at relationship.
I really, really thrive in that. But then, again, sometimes, let's just move on.
You're just doing it live.
Yeah, I love it.
Tell me again a big change you said you saw in about 2 years.
It's not a big change. There's nothing big change.
Okay.
It's more just the if we go backwards 7 years, but it didn't really affect you. 2010 to 2012, nothing really happened.
Yeah, nothing that jumps out. I will have to look at that.
Yeah, it will be a reflection of whatever started 7 years ago.
Right?
But not a big.
Yeah, it could be anything. It could be like people moving. It could be family. It could be anything like that. It doesn't have to be about you per se, right, Deborah? It could be about other
family. It could be a husband. It could be a wife. It could be job changes or a different responsibility comes in.
So I thought of what happened. My son moved to my neighborhood. My son moved from California to Washington.
What's more fun for a mom? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking at.
Wow.
Okay, that's what it was.
So that's called a major change because it's a family dynamic that for you that's a big deal too because you can feel detached if you're not close to people. You want relationships so bad. So the short answer is this next 7-year cycle, which starts in December, it does begin not quite as strong as Dr. Pat will feel it, but you're going to feel a change, and it could include something to do with your work or maybe writing something or designing something in a bigger way or an entrance into a new. You're growing up, but you're coming into an important career moment by the end of 2018.
That's exciting.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Kim. Thank you. Wow. I don't know if we have time. We only have about 3 minutes left. I'm not sure if we can give Erin a quick message.
No, we are now going to stop giving quick messages. We're going to finish off this. That's funny.
Thank you.
Let's talk about.
Let's talk about you. How can people get copies of your book? How can they schedule time with you? All of the above.
All of the above. I have this school. This is one of the things I wanted to tell you because I bet your audience is lots of women. For the women out there who are looking for a career or wanting to add to their life a way that they can serve, which is what, remember my first thing was contribute?
Yeah.
This course is such a powerful way. Like I get to watch women, suddenly they decide to lose weight or suddenly they fall back in love with their husband or suddenly they decide to get divorced. After 6 weeks, their whole thing changes because they become aware of the part of their, like I'm thinking of one of my best example is who's now working for me. She came to started at her class and she was, a little bit shy and you could see in the classroom she wasn't really talking that much. And I looked at her chart and she had so much fire in her chart and I was like, wait a minute. Who is hiding behind the curtain? Can you bring her out? And then she started exercising and then she lost like 40 pounds and the next thing it was just so cool.
Wow. And I think that, what we're talking about, and you'll have to come back and we'll talk about this more, is that people are definitely being influenced by things that are going on in the outside world. And I would love to talk about how the various signs either do well with that or not.
Yes. And who's susceptible and who's not, and who holds their own and who fights and how do we respond? Because it's such an intense, this is the craziest time. I like to call it her story instead of history. We're now in her story. This is the craziest time in her story. Like we are definitely waking up inside the dream and we've got a big decision to make. It's a little scary because we don't know how many of us are going to be able to actually do what's required to get us through this next step, especially around the environment. It's one of my biggest concerns that people seem to ignore.
Yeah, mine too. But you nailed it for me. I mean, can you imagine me growing up and being where I was during the Nixon era? Can you imagine what I must have been like when I was that age and being me? I must have marched in more protests, went to Woodstock, the whole thing. Every weekend I was somewhere doing something. I could not sit on my hands. And yet I didn't grow up in a family like that. So, you answered a lot of questions for us today. One last question for you, Deborah. Thank you so much. What's your personal message? What would you like to leave us with today?
It's really important that you be yourself, just like you're seeing with Dr. Pat, that don't be self-conscious. Give yourself permission to show up in your world without any excuses. And I pray and hope that we make it to this transition because you decide to be you. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken, and there's no such thing as normal. It's just a setting on a dryer. So forget about normal. Come on. Let's be yourself now.
I love it. Deborah Silverman, website again, please.
DEBRA, DeborahSilvermanAstrology.com.
All right. Thank you so much for today, Deborah. And we will connect for the ping pong match of the year.
Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I tried to swim against brought me down upon my knees. Oh, I beg and plead, singing, come out of things unsaid. Shoot an apple off my head and a trouble.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.